Syndney Bagony is joining me now. We're here at NCBA. You've had a great relationship with NCBA, and before you tell us that, tell us a little bit about your background and your involvement in the agriculture industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So as she said, I'm Syndney Bagony. I grew up in the very rural community of Sumter County, Florida, so I was really excited when I saw that CattleCon was coming to Orlando. I don't really necessarily come from an agricultural background. I consider myself a little bit of a first generation, which is really, really fun to have the opportunity to talk to people about that.
Wow, that's really impressive. So being a first generation, kind of what was the driving force or the inspiration once you got involved in high school? What made you think, okay, yeah, I want to be in this industry?
Truly, it was my experience within the FFA program and as well as the Florida Cattlewomen's and Cattlemen's Association. So I attended my first FFA meeting, and I knew that the Blue Jacket was going to be my home for the next several years. The people in agriculture and the relationships that you make are just truly valuable. There is nobody better, in my opinion, than somebody in the agricultural industry. Being able to advocate for something that everybody needs in their life is something that I am so incredibly grateful for. So it was definitely that first meeting and taking that first step and that first initiative that really opened the door.
There's so many opportunities to be a part of this industry. Boots on the ground, you said it best right there. What's your advice, being a young female and first generation in this industry, to those who are tuning in? What would you tell them to, get boots on the ground? What's your advice?
Right, absolutely. So I heard this the other day from a cattleman that I deeply admire, and he said to lift where you stand. So everybody has their own path in life and can bring different skill sets to the table, and having the opportunity to lift right where you are, to advocate for the industry, to advocate for your producer, to advocate for your university, is just being able to work where you are, use the resources you have, and use those tools to become an asset for the industry. We need advocates in the agricultural world more than ever, and your voice matters, and there is always a place for you in this industry. It's just finding your seat at the table.
How cool is it to be a female in this industry and seeing more women they've always been in this industry, right? But they're stepping up to the plate in different ways and different roles. I mean, how inspiring is that from your standpoint as a young female?
It is truly amazing to have the opportunity to network with those women and meet them, especially, I've had a lot of involvement in specifically like the Pasco County Cattlewomen, and they really have taken me under their wing and served as great mentors for me, especially women in the ag industry, and showing that you can do this and you can also have a seat at that table, and that's something that is so valuable. And I hope that, young women who are wanting to be involved in this industry, you don't have to necessarily come from agriculture to be in agriculture. We need, it takes all kinds, right? We need everybody in this industry, and if we all can have the same mission and the same goal, I know that the future of agriculture is so incredibly bright.
Yeah, people have to eat, right?
Yes.
They do. Well, Syndney Bagony, thank you so much for what you're doing, an advocate for agriculture, boots on the ground. We appreciate you joining us here on RFD-TV and the Cowboy Channel. Thank you.